Yeah. Forty. It's a Spanish, Mexican, Cuban. Cuban, yeah, they used to sell them. That kind of. I think I had two periods in my um, late teenage and then adult life. Were there a few years I didn't read books? I just didn't have the mindset for reading. It was like it took a calmness or something, or a concentration that I didn't have. I like the times of my life when I want to read a lot. I've got some really good books here. Some of them are my favorites that I've already read, but like this new one by Wild Bill Donovan. I was reading fiction with Debbie Macomber, and it's not the Victorian kind of things. but it's a lot of love stories, but incorporating interesting stories. I read everything I could find on her. Kindle I love. You know, I didn't think I would because I'm such a book lover, but almost like you don't have to walk to the library, you don't have to carry books, you don't have to remember to return them. They're automatically returned if you don't return them. And you hold this thing up and you get every book you want, you know. So I really like Kindle. My first one was an earlier version, and when Rob and Jamie Mortensen, when Rob Hayden and Jamie Mortensen stole from me, I guess when I was with Rob, you know, dating him and he was spending the night, I missed my Kindle and I lost a tablet, one debit card, and a credit card, and a phone that I was going to return that I paid like $18 for. A flip-top phone. And I was always broke. I guess National Exchange Bank and Trust just, they made sure I was always broke. Bouncing checks, I swear. A third of my income went to paying late fees, or check bouncing fees. $30 each. And then the companies would resend it to cover it, and that was another $30. They stole my debit card, one of my Capital One cards, and the phone was going to return. So for like 2 or 3 weeks I had nothing to live on. I went to Broken Bread on Fridays. I was at St. Paul's Cathedral. I'd eat canned tuna and stuff that isn't very nutritious. Well, you know, processed food and stuff. And I noticed these things missing after Rob and Jamie screwed me over. Or Rob, who supposedly hated Jamie, apparently liked her. And that was all Friendship Corner shit. Friendship Corner and AA shit. Most I says they tortured infants at Friendship Corner after I would leave. Like running on tables, I guess. Moses was not supportive after Rob had proven to me that he'd had an agenda when our more than friendship started. And I had written a complaint to the NAMI board on National Life on Mental Illness. I named each board member and I sent the email to the NAMI, whatever address you're supposed to send the emails to, that I considered what Rob had done because he was I forget what you call him, but he'd been with Friendship Corner as a client, but also as something else where you take the money for coffee and stuff for several years. And I wrote to the NAMI board, I don't think one client should, something like, he shouldn't have done that to another client. You can't have clients treating each other like that. And he's a Friendship Corner member in good standing. He was giving speeches on his recovery history for a while. Like speeches, to groups. But he was whatever it was where you take money for coffee and like charge you money unlocked and that kind of stuff. And I wrote to the NAMI board and I said I consider it a sexual assault because he had bad intentions going in, which was proven to me by the way it ended with him and Jamie. And Melissa I didn't send the email to her, I sent it to the board. And they contacted her, no. This one guy, a paraplegic, wasn't, I don't know. He wasn't on the board, but he was important at NAMI. He used to come visit sometimes. I can't think of his name. I don't even know if the board members got the email, because this guy, the real cripple, probably opened all the email, and I never knew if the board members got the email or not. But anyway, somebody contacted Melissa Hayes. I don't think I CC'd her on the email. But anyway, somebody contacted her. And I went in one day and she asked me, can I talk to you? And she was like, you have no evidence for this. This is not a sexual assault. This is all in your mind. You're just reacting to something that happened to you earlier in your life. Shit. She's a Friendship Corner counselor. She was a guidance counselor at school I can see through my window right now. Chegwin Elementary, and boasts of having tortured children at Chegwin. And it's an elementary school. And she was a lesbian in a long-term relationship. And what else? She had two minorities. Oh, plus a counselor for mentally ill people. And the standard response would be, well, we take these accusations seriously. Can I talk to you about it? But she was, you have no evidence of this. This is all in your mind. Ann Landsberg Ellsworth Coran says it was 3 weeks that I had to go without food and stuff. And I don't even want to go into Capital One and FedEx and trying to get my credit card back, trying to get a replacement. They put one of those alert things, a fraud alert on it the day I got it. I went to Marathon gas station and bought some stuff. I think, and then I went to Quick Trip and it was refused. And I called Capital One or whatever. I was like, why was my card refused? Well, there's a fraud alert on it. Well, I didn't put a fraud alert on it. And I didn't have didn't have a phone at that time. And, Quick Trip was nice enough. Quick Trip on 12th and Main was nice enough to let me use their phone when I would have to go call Capital One and ask them, why did my documents proving that I'm me not show up after they'd been downloaded and I saw them? Why did they not show up? And they'd say, well, I don't know, go download them again. So I'd go home, download them again. They'd not show up, but they'd show up and then disappear. And I'd have to go back to Quick Trip and ask them to use the phone. I must have used their phone 10 times in 3 weeks or more, or 10 times in 10 days. I don't know. So, whatever crap you keep in your cupboards that you never eat, that's what I eat. And Landsberg, Ellsworth, Corinne, and others are just laughing at my predicament. Melissa Hayes said here that Darren Hayes, the singer, is her son. It never once occurred to me that Melissa Hayes was playing a role to alienate me in order to keep herself safe because I was a target, like it had with Joanna Scholl. But Joanna Scholl, don't go to Joanna Scholl if you're heterosexual. Because she's a lesbian, and if you're a woman, she wants you to be a lesbian. And it runs in the undercurrents of the entire therapeutic relationship. I finally told Richard, if I stay in therapy with Joanna Scholl, we're going to get a divorce. And then the insurance changed. What a coincidence. All these coincidences. And then the insurance dropped coverage. And for some reason I had to do private pay. Oh, when Richard Henry Jr. was laid off from Charter, we would have had to pay $600 a month to get that whatever gap healthcare coverage. And we didn't pay it. So I think it was without insurance. Private pay was $50, and I did that once or twice. But that was a struggle. And then all this, we're gonna get divorced if I stay with her. And so finally I decided, she said she does take on some pro bono cases, free. So she gave me one session pro bono, and it was so degrading to me because the first insurance we had paid her like $115 a session, and she was an MSW, so that's not, that's pretty good. And the insurance changed through Charter, so I had worse coverage, got less per session, but it was still above private pay. But as my pay of her declined, so did the quality of her therapy. It was quite distinct and dramatic. Because to her I was a nice yuppie client who had good insurance and lived on the hill off 23. And then I was this poor shit, and my status lowered in her eyes. But anyway, she did some weird shit at the end, and I ended up running out of there one day after having met Paul and left work. And for the weird shit she did, I thought, well, it's possible that she had to push me away, to stay safe during this time when Paul was being targeted and I was being targeted very ferociously. But that wore off. Never once did I consider Melissa Hayes might have pushed me away to keep herself safe. She was a counselor, and a lesbian. And she didn't even believe that a man having a bad agenda when he started a relationship, which the end of the relationship proved, and having all those things stolen from me, so I wasn't even eating right at all. I wasn't eating well at all. For her to say it's all in your head, and you must be reacting to something that happened to you from the past. It's like, wait a minute. You're a counselor, you're a minority? This is your response to me? So anyway. At the end of my complaint about Rob Hayden in the NAMI letter, I said I plan to call the police. I'm just I'm just haven't done it yet. God says they had the whole police. Well, I'm not gonna slander the city police here. Maybe the sheriffs, because that's county. The city police have been pretty good to me. But God says the whole law enforcement system, and I'm taking out the Fond du Lac police, was geared, and the court system was geared to rape me up the ass if I followed through with a complaint against Rob. So I didn't know that, but me and God discussed this, in my heart and whatever, for a few days, and I thought about it, and we discussed, and I decided to drop the complaint. And that just took the air right out of them, I guess. God likes to run people around, so he got them to gear up for weeks, I guess, to just step by step how to rape me in the system. So I took all the air out of that balloon. When I was getting threatening notes posted to my door from St. Peter's Place Management, the manager Melissa Barton, and Commonwealth LLC owns St. Peter's Place and all the parish apartments around here. It used to be, Catholic schools or something. I got really upset. And I had started going back to Friendship Corner sometimes. And Melissa Hayes had said, she doesn't want to exclude either me or Rob, of course, from the Friendship Corner, but as long as we're civil to each other, it's okay. And the thing was, if I was going to stand up to him for my, my sexual assault or anything like that, that I was going to get booted from the Friendship Corner. And I thought I had some other friends at the Friendship Corner, so I went for the other people, but I didn't go that often. Rob and I were civil to each other. After about 5 months, I didn't hate Rob anymore, or I wasn't angry or whatever. Actually, it happened a lot sooner than that, but we started chit-chatting a little, or hello, how are you, that kind of thing, at Friendship Corner. But it's funny because this happened with Dina once. The apartment complex was threatening me so much I was getting sick about it. Because, they threatened to take your home from you. That's what it is. And that's a pretty serious, shoe to drop on you. So, I got a letter to my door after I thought I'd straightened everything out, and I was smoking across the fucking street. The other people were allowed to sit on the steps by the entrance, on the ledge by the steps and smoke. But the rules for smoking were different for me. I smoked across the street, or down the sidewalk away from the building and shit like that. And I got a letter. I couldn't fucking read it. I get sick. And the one person I thought that I could have read it to me that would be cool about it was Rob. And that had happened to me with Dina once. We had been broken up for quite a while. Months, I guess. And I went on a job interview with a guy who had a private investigation firm Um, he was a former chief of police of the city of Miami. And part of the interview was taking a polygraph. You know, when they asked the question about cocaine, have you ever used cocaine? I said no. I had this feeling deep inside that, I have used that before. But I had no recollection of when, or with whom, or anything like that. When the lie detector guy carried the folder in for the lie detector test results to the chief guy, I saw the word deceptive on the folder. I was so fucking shocked by that lie detector test that I called Dino at the lab and I asked him if he could meet me at his house and talk for a minute. And we talked on the steps out, he had a loft on the second floor of the house on Northeast 20th Street. And he was patient and listened, and, he didn't judge. He wasn't his usual sadistic self. And that's how I felt when I needed somebody to read this letter to me. I thought of Rob. And he did read it to me. And he helped me that afternoon after listening to it, and he visited my apartment, and we had... I think I had tequila. We didn't get drunk, we didn't kiss or fuck or anything. We just stayed, 10 feet apart and talked. But it really helped me. He really helped me to get through that afternoon. And that was true for Dino that one time. I don't know who I would have talked to about it. So anyway, I'm going to upload this. And I think I'm going to shut the light off and go to bed.